What's up, guys? It's Albert here, your host from iSnack TV. I want to talk to you today about my fleet and basically why I chose to go with Perception kayaks versus any other brand. You know, they're not the most expensive, they're not the ones with the most bells and whistles, but they work for me. And I'm going to explain today why I chose them, why I chose the color I did, and some features of two different series of them. I have two of them. I have a 10-footer, a Pescador Pro 100, which I use for rivers, creeks, streams, basically any small skinny water stuff, so I can just pick it up, portage it, and get ready to go. The plastic is roto molded, so it's very durable, so that's why I went with this brand versus some of the other brands that maybe don't have roto molded plastics. And then for the 2017 tournament season, I was taking fishing a lot more serious than I have in the past, so I wanted to upgrade and go with a boat that fit my needs as far as being able to cover more water, stability and speed, but also just sticking with the Perception brand because I like the quality. I've had my Pro for over a year and it's been nothing but great with me. So then I went and got the Pescador Pilot 120. So I'm also going to discuss some things that I don't like about it, or that I obviously seen that needs improvement, but then pros as to why I went with this versus, let's say, a Hobie or something bigger. So stay tuned, we're going to get right into it. Alright guys, first boat I'm going to start off with is my Perception Pescador 100. This is a 10-foot boat. I believe it's like somewhere in that 45 to 50 pound range. It's super light, super skinny, and ready to roll. Some features that I like about it that I bought it for was the color. It's probably the best colorway, and it's the only kayak on the market with these blaze orange bungees stock. So I don't even think that any brand sells them aftermarket. They may, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but they come with them stock, so you don't have to go out and buy them. They come with about 24 inches of Yak Attack gear tracks. I put a universal fishing pole holder on my right hand side, just because it's my dominant side. So this side I'm going to grab the quickest. This side I don't really have anything on it. I just kind of leave it open. We put a fish finder on it, like a small 4-inch unit. It's got a really nice drag area. This is just like extra. But I usually keep my wallet in there, cell phone, keys, things like that. It may be a little wet because I washed it right now with the pressure washer. But generally, when you're on the water, hitting rapids, it stays pretty dry. It's got a smaller front hatch, which this is removable. So you can take this off, store like a little cooler, a soft cooler, or day stuff. Comes with the grips in the front and back for easy transport if you're traveling with a person, or if you just want to grab that front end and portage. I don't know, I'd put it at a 6-inch drag strip. So you can easily drag it without damaging the bottom of the boat. I've had this boat for well over a year, and I use it on the Guadalupe River a lot, creeks, Civilo Creek and things like that, and it's handled tremendously well. They do have this mesh kind of plush seat that is very comfortable. It is easily adjustable. It does have a high and low version. It's in the high right now. The low is kind of there at the bottom. I wouldn't say it's a low. It's kind of more of like a relaxed lean back versus a high. And don't take that as high. That's not a very high seat in general compared to some of the other ones out on the market. It comes with these foot pegs, standard. They're adjustable depending on your height. If you're shorter or taller, you can just adjust them. They lock into place and are pretty easy to change if you need to on the fly. And both of these kayaks, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this by myself, but both of these kayaks come with transducer mounts stock. So if you wanted, you don't have to go out and buy a transducer arm or anything crazy. You can just run your scupper plug transducer through here, run the wiring through the back here, so it makes it nice and easy, so you don't have to make any holes or put any things in your boat, and it just comes right through here, and you can put your battery or something small there to power your unit. It comes with the paddle keep here on the side, which is pretty useful, just so you don't have to hold it. So it's pretty good, and you don't have to go out and buy one. So that's also more important. Now let's get over here to my new pride and joy here, the Pescador Pro Pilot 120. Obviously the highly anticipated boat, being that it's the first pedal driven kayak under $2,000. You know, I've got this one fully out rigged for tournament season. Just got my own little custom made milk crate there with 4 pole holders. I even have a GoPro mount, and this actually was, I think, made for the ability to hold a black pack up in the front. It's got kind of a little mold for that, and then plenty of storage in the rear. Also has a hole access right there, right under the rudder system. Now when you compare them side to side, you can see some automatic, you know, obvious differences. This one happens to be 12 foot. This version actually comes in at 120 as well, you know, 12 footer. I believe it looks the exact same. I don't know of anything different than the 120 from the 100 on the Pro Series, but the Pilot is definitely different. I'd probably say that if you had the 120 in this version, it looked just like this. So same thing, you know, easy day access, put whatever you need, soft cooler, whatever you see fit, and then just close it back up. Alright, and on this 120 with the Pilot, you have 2 storage pods. You have one on the left hand side of the boat, and then one on the right hand side of the boat. They both have all the wiring holes for, you know, transducers, mounts, and batteries. I personally have my battery and my wiring in the left hand side, and in the right hand side I keep some tools, which I'll talk about and discuss in the cons of the boat on this side, and then just whatever else I want to keep dry like I would with that boat. So cell phone, wallet, keys, stays dry. So as you see here, these wire holes, it's really easy to, again, not have to drill anything in the boat. Comes easy. I don't have my battery or anything in there, just my plugs for the meantime, for the video's sake, and easy to run to whatever mount or fish finder system you have. Same thing, has the scupper mount hole here. You can, if I wanted to lift it up, which I'm not going to because this one's a little heavier, has the same bolts as the Pro 100. Now, being this is my tournament boat, I went with the Lowrance Elite 7 Chirp. Awesome color screen, 7 inches, feels like a computer system on the front of the boat. I actually went in hard mounted with this, and I'll explain why. I was catching some slack with some of my friends in a few kayak groups. Why didn't I use the gear tracks, yada yada yada, and I'll explain why when I get to the pros and cons. But I like this. I am going to get a different extension to give me more room, but I'll explain why I went with that versus on the gear tracks. Now, I do have my ram mount 1-inch ball holding my transducer arm on the gear tracks, available for easy on and off access, and forward and back depending on what I'm doing. This boat came with a paddle keep as well, same side, left hand side, just like that one. Again, it saves you money from not having to purchase like some Yak Attack rail mounts or whatever, you know, else is out there. This one also comes with 4 of these fishing holders, which again, they're not fishing holders if you ask me, but that's what they're meant for. They're just too loose. I have seen people add some like tubes or some other bars with some kind of fluff in the middle to hold it sturdy, but I'm just not going to do that. I actually use it for my net. So on tournament day, I just throw my net in there. It's really awesome. I don't have to put my net up under my legs or anywhere crazy. It's just right here off my left hand side. On the side of your captain's chair, comes with 2 Plano box holders, or if you're an angler that has like a day box, like stuff that you're going to need to change out a lot, terminal tackle, whatever, you can easily put it right here on both sides instead of having to reach in the back and grab from your main crate. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but it comes with the same about 24 inches of the Yak Attack gear track stock, so you do not have to go out and buy them and add them. It even gives you some flat decking right here to mount boom mounts. I'm going to do another rod holder and whatever you want. Also a sweet little cup holder on the side, kind of gets out of the middle of your legs. And then the most important thing people were raving about is the Pilot drive system. I love how easy and fast it is to get it up and under the boat and out of your way, which is going to be my biggest complaint from the Slayer Propel, is that I hated when you picked up the drive from the propel, the propeller and the knob was right in your crotch. You could not work with the fish. So with this Pilot drive system, when you actually put it up, it's away from you. So let me hop in the boat here. I would have these adjusted a little farther back, but check that out. I mean, when you're in the drive, or when you're in the boat, and you get a fish here, and you have all this room to work with. Your pedals and your knob and the head are just far, I mean, they're at the end of my feet there. The Propel system has it like right here. It'd be right here in your face. You have a big 7-inch screen here. You know, you couldn't work with it. You couldn't mess with fish. It'd just been a nightmare. So the next best thing about this compared to the Propel, in my opinion, is that you do not have to remove this to pull up the drive to go to zero drag. It has a zero drag system that the drive itself pulls up into the boat, into the hull of the boat, and there's like some rubber flaps down there at the bottom that make it zero drags. Okay, so I've taken it out to show you, because obviously I can't drop it down because we're not in water. Let me show you how the drive system works. You have your locking pin right here. Goes through here. You know, screw this on right here. You just screw that together, and that goes through this hole right here. So that's going to be the pivot point that the Pilot goes up and down on. This bar right here is the piece that, you know, goes out so the drive can come up. It'll go under the drive, as you saw it in the resting position earlier, and then once you pull it out and put the drive up against here, the head of it here, it locks it in place from going backwards. And probably the coolest factor, which is one of my other biggest complaints about the Propel, is that you had to kind of take the plastic covering off, look down the hole, and make sure your prop was up and down. With this boat, you do not have to do that because of these indicators up here at the top. So there's these two little hash marks right here. Right there and right there. When your pedal fits in between up and down the hash marks, your drive is always up and down. Now let's talk about the cons, because, you know, I'm going to give an unbiased opinion. I love Perception, but I'm going to talk about the cons. One of them being that this propeller is plastic. It's kind of dingy. It you know, if you hit, you know, pretty hard on some rocks or the sand or something, you know, you could definitely get it dinged up. There's a little notch there. I've only taken it out about, I don't know, 7-8 times. So I'm looking into having this casted. Sorry, I had to take a break, battery died, but what I was saying was I'm looking to get this metal casted, just for what I do personally. I know some guys who own some metal casting companies, and I'm thinking of having them taking this off and then just having it, you know, molded or 3D graphed, and then having it printed up and designed and cut out in metal. So, you know, it's a lot more durable. Now, you can say what you want, whatever. I mean, not all kayaks are going to be perfect, but these are just two tools that I have that I'm going to keep on the boat at all times. A 17 size monkey wrench there, and then some vice grips. So what I'll do is, if it ever does come loose, grip the bottom, you know, tighten it down if I feel like it's not hard enough. So I'll grip the bottom there if I feel like it's not tight enough. Put this on the top and, you know, tighten it down. But right now it's about as tight as it'll get, because I've, like I said, tightened it, and from what I've seen, fixed the issue, and I haven't had to do it again. So I have some good news about this drive system. I actually talked with the guys over at ACK today, and they gave me the number to Confluence, I guess the people who actually make this boat, and apparently a ton of other boats on the market, and they are creating a fix kit, if you will, for a few of the issues that the Pilot came out with. So they said they're going to ship it about at the end of February, so I should have it, or I'm sorry, mid-February. I should have it end of February, early March, where I would say if you do have the Pilot already and you have experienced this and you want to get that fix kit, I called, gave them my information, and they're going to ship it to my address as soon as they get it in. So I definitely recommend calling them, Confluence. I'll probably link them below in the description below and put the number. Call them, tell them, you know, where you bought it from, have your serial number handy, and they'll get that fix kit shipped out to you. Okay, cool. So I would say the other con about the boat that I can not really show you there is that if you're looking for a boat for BTB or deep sea stuff where you need a lot of hull storage or just internal access to throw your fish in and stuff like that. I don't know much about that, but my buddies who do that stuff has told me that he needed a boat with a lot of internal storage to throw those big kingfish and throw those big Spanish mackerel in the boat so they don't sun rot. That's what he was saying. So I guess if you're going to do some BTB stuff, I wouldn't pick up the Pilot. I don't think it's good for that. Exposed nuts and stuff on the drive, I don't know if I'd say that they're 100% rust proof or that salt water's not going to damage them. I don't know that that's going to be the best boat for saltwater use. What's up, guys? I also noticed that when I was editing this video, I didn't say anything about the stability and standability, like being able to stand in the Pilot 120. It's very easy, very stable boat. It's like 33 inches wide, so very easy compared to the 10-foot, because I did touch on how the 10-footer, I wouldn't trust it setting a jig or setting the hook on a frog, but the Pilot 120, definitely. And then lastly, which again I don't do much of, so it's not a huge factor to me, is I don't know that this boat would be good for overnight camping. Like if you were going to do several days on a river or something of that nature. I don't know that this boat has the storage capacity to do that. Again, I don't do multiple days on water. I want to get into that, but hopefully I'd have a buddy with a boat that had more hull storage or more internal storage. You can definitely put some stuff in the front hatch and the back hatch, but I don't know if you can fit like, a rolled up tent or, air mattress or whatever you take on those trips, pots, pans, things like that. You definitely couldn't store food if you wanted to keep it cold. I don't know. I don't know if I would use it for like multiple day use, but for what I bought them for what I use them for, I couldn't be happier with my purchases of the Pilot and the Pescador Pro 100. Because I get asked all the time, why didn't you just go with the Hobie? Why didn't you just go with this? Because, sometimes I fish alone a lot. So this is where the pros come in. I spent less on these two boats than I would have on a Hobie. And on a Hobie, you're not taking a Hobie on a creek. You're not taking a Hobie down some rapids. Maybe I'll drop a pic of some rapids that we hit. Here in the Texas Hill Country. You're not. I don't need a Hobie. And the other thing, which I can't believe I forgot to mention, is the hands-free reverse. You don't have to bend over and pull a reverse strap like you do with the Hobie. You can just back pedal your feet. So hands-free reverse. I like that they took that aspect of it from the Propel. All around, I like it for what I use it for. Hopefully this video was informative on making a kayak purchase decision. But if you're a guy who does freshwater stuff only, who wants to cover more water, and for $1,800 retail is the way to go. So stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed to iSnack TV. We got a tournament coming up this weekend. Hopefully we do well. We did really well in pre-fishing, and we're taking the whole crew out there, River City Chubby Chasers, and hopefully we take home some paper. So stay tuned. We'll see you there.